I think the thing I enjoy most about these roguish regionals is when Scareclaw can come through and decimate the entire meta, there's something interesting happening. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So Card Merchant Regional here from Your Move TCG got posted online. And, you know, I'm a little bit sick of talking about this format, but when I see Scareclaw winning a regional, I kind of sit down and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm genuinely curious about this at this point in time, because that means that there are some interesting ideas kind of being tossed around out here. And I'm not gonna lie, this pie chart is absolutely gorgeous. Everything is a straight one of across the board. Now, the other most interesting thing out of this regional was Minkanko actually took down second place. So you're telling me here that we have Scareclaw winning the event, and then we have Minkanko coming in second place. But then you still have things like Purely and Kashtira that are present in this top cut. They just, you know, finished out in the X whatever bracket at that point in time. I think that's kind of interesting. Now, on the, you know, without Scareclaw, I mean, there's got to be some sort of Mana Diem deck usually kind of floating around here. So yes, we did have one Mana Diem duelist stepping on into the top cut here. We also had one Labyrinth, one Branded, and we also had a Tier Elements in here as well. Now, I've been pretty vocal about Tier being one of the slightly more interesting variants of the format here. You play a very dangerous RNG game with it, but if variance is just going your way today, then you are going to capitalize and you are going to make so much free advantage that your opponent's just going to stare at you and go, oh, well, you know, there's nothing that I can really do about this at the end of the day. So, very diverse breakdown. I understand where, you know, the regional took place, you know, does kind of allow for some of this more diversity to actually kind of shine, but it doesn't take away anything that, you know, Scareclaw did finish in the first place seed out of this event. So, pretty interesting. Let's pass on over to those deck lists. First place out of our event is good old Scareclaw here, and, you know, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I like the ratios for this. I see that we are playing Revolution Synchrons and the tuning package in here, so you can kind of set up and go into Ancient Fairy Dragon, basically turbo through and set up, you know, good old Crystal Wing. Plus, you can rotate off whichever field spell that you're sitting on into Ray Sloth, and then go search for, you know, the Tier Elements Scareclaw, so you can deploy the big guy also on the field, so you can continue on with the extension lines of play that you want to see with this. I also see that Droplet looks like, this is one of the extra regionals at this point. We've seen Droplet kind of storming back into the format. Players at this point in time are still fully aware that we do have Kashtira still running around, but people have made the decision at this point that Droplet's value is definitely returning back to the game. So I think that's something very, very interesting to kind of see. Outside of that, side deck is incredibly strong down here. Good stuff to see that this ended up doing well. Second place out here is Battle Phase Reflection deck. And I see that we are playing the Axe of Fools and the Double-Edged Sword out here as well. So, I mean, you're going to be cheeso decaying your opponent in all sorts of capacities. And I can tell you people aren't going to have too much fun when they actually start to see that. I see that we are playing Secret Village down here in the side deck as well. That's kind of a little bit of a cute little tech choice. I haven't really seen a lot of people exploring the option for that. We are playing Lava Golems and Kaijus in here. The whole point of that is to make sure that, you know, you can handle whatever situation your opponent set up, whether or not 2 to, you know, 1 monster as a problem. You literally handle it. It's not a problem. Extra deck actually is a lot more utility analyzing here, especially since, you know, we are playing the Charmers to be able to deploy that Secret Village. Honestly, I mean, your opponent's not going to have a good time. If you drop a Secret Village on them, they're just going to stare at you and go, what is this garbage? Well, interesting. Next up here we have a very, very interesting take for Purely. Now, I see that this build is playing Snows. We're doing the Dark World package. I feel like I hopped back in a time machine here, and we're revisiting some of the old ideas of the past, which that's not a bad thing. I think some of those old ideas actually were doable. We are playing Double Droplet, so we did pretty much amputate the books out of this variant, and we're doing that. And then we're playing Keldo and our other Ishizu friend here as well. We're also playing 2 DD Crow in the main deck. So once again, you see that Droplet is kind of spinning back in here. I see that this build did opt for a Change of Heart as well. That's kind of interesting. I mean, hey, anything that you can turn into a free Zeus at the end of the day is actually pretty fire. Looking at this, though, no crossouts. We are doing the proper Harpy stuff. Okay, I didn't expect to see this. Next up here is some Labyrinth good stuff. Now, we are playing Pot of Extra for our draw choice. Excellent, excellent. I gotta love, getting the ability to get as much draw power as I can. Somebody is actually playing the Linger Rebo here. Now, this is actually what you do want to see. The fact that Linger Rebo is going to save you off of the Nightmare Corrupt Ribley lock. We've seen Nightmare Corrupt Ribley be a pain in the butt for so many players. It genuinely concerns me that people look at Nightmare Corrupt Ribley right now and they're like, I'm not going to play an out for it in a deck that they pretty much need to have some sort of out for. See that we are citing one Sphere Mode down there. We are playing the one Booty game as well. Okay, so we have a lot of interesting one-of trap cards here that we are accessing to make sure that we can play the game and do our thing. Okay, once again, I like this. Looks very, very nice in terms of a list. No complaints. Next up here, we have our Mana Diem list. Now, I think it's not to be really questioned at this point in time, but playing the Scareclaw stuff is what makes this deck actually go round. The fact that you can reverse engineer into any essential combo line while still toggling and not get locked is the thing that helps this deck out so much. Is that a Majestic Star Dragon down there in the extra deck? Yes, that is a Majestic Star Dragon in the extra deck, the way it looks down there. Okay, you know what? Interesting. I also see that we are playing a Phantasme in here as well. We've seen that Phantasme has gained a lot more hype as of late. Just, it's kind of free real estate at this point in time, You do all the toggling, continue on with the pressure. Your opponent's doing all these link shenanigans. And you're just like, oh, hey, sorry, nothing that you can continue to play through. So, okay. Next up is Standard Old Cash Tier at this point in time. And once again, we see Linger Rebo here. Yay! More and more people. That Nightmare Corrupt Ribley lock. As long as Nightmare Corrupt Ribley is a problem, I think that people, actually it hasn't been much of a problem as of late, but I think it is funny that people are kind of returning back to that card as a choice. I see that we have Double Exceed Encore in here as well. Let's see here. I'm still playing standard Shifters in the main deck. Shifter's actually so insane in this deck. It is so unfun to play against, but it is so interesting. We are playing the one Cash Tier of Preparations trap card down on the side. That's not really something that you tend to see too much anymore. Preparation was very good in the very early stages of the format, but so many people just tossed it aside. Its value has just been, people are like, there's no real point to playing this anymore, because that means that you typically want to try to play Ogre. Now, we're not actually playing Ogre for this list. So, okay, next up here, we have Tier Elements, and straight off the bat here, I see that we are playing the Hell Shut All package. Alright, so at this point in time, we're just playing when to slow down the game. Laugh at your opponent. Ha ha ha, you can't do anything because you already special summoned more than, or you can't special summon more than the condition that's been stated on the window. To be fair, this deck in its current iteration is severely limited in what it can do. And the fact that people are still trying this out, it's not a bad thing. It's still, I would say, tier 2 on the bare minimum of things. It's one of those decks that people just, they don't know how to play against. Still to this day. A Tier Elements player can put up Rukalos, and they can put up Winda, and people just go 404 page not found. And it really amazes me. I don't actually understand how a lot of that mentality actually works, but you know what? Kudos to see that this still performed out here. And our last list out of Top Cut here is Branded. Holy Bysteel package, Batman. 3 Magna Hut, 3 Saronir, Druis, the 1 Baldric, and the triple Lubellion. Alright, well, they did not want their opponents to have fun if they were playing a light and dark strategy. See that we are citing Albalenitis down here. That's for the Dragon Link players. Set the phone of Elbaz. Oh, you got a full Dragon Field? Contact them on up. Like, what's your opponent supposed to do at that point in time? Your opponent sees a set monster, they're probably not going to react unless they're like, oh my gosh, you have to hard through the Fallen of Albaz. Outside of that, I don't have much to say here. I mean, the one Phantasme is kind of cool in terms of the draw power, but okay, so what do you guys think about the breakdown for this event? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. See your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.